Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Really excited about today's topic. We're looking into something that seems pretty basic on the surface, getting cocopeat ready for seeds. But it turns out there's quite a bit to it. Our guide is Notes on Gardening, part 573. It tracks this one gardener's, well, journey and experiments. Yeah, so our mission today is to pull out a new approach, some key insights from this gardener that apparently really changed the game for their seed starting. We're focusing on two things: a sort of different way they soak the cocoa peat, and this is crucial, using a specific meter to check its quality. Okay, let's get into it.
Absolutely. It's fascinating, isn't it? How sometimes a really small change in technique can have this huge impact, especially in gardening. Understanding these kind of hitter factors like salt content is just so critical when you're dealing with tiny seeds. They're so vulnerable early on.
That's spot on. So the source mentions using an EC meter electrical conductivity as being really key for understanding that salt level. But, okay, before we dig into the numbers, what was this different soaking method? How did they get those salts so low? Because that can be a real issue with cocoa peat, right?
Great question. Yeah, the notes describe this really clever but simple flushing technique. Instead of just, soaking it in a bucket and tipping the water out,
Hmm.
this gardener used a gunny sack, like a burlap sack. They packed the cocoa peat in there loosely, and then they trickled water through it continuously. So it was draining slowly, constantly from all sides. Not a quick rinse, more like a long, slow flush.
Ah, okay, so the water's always moving out, taking the salts with it rather than just sitting there.
Exactly. That controlled, sort of gentle flow through the porous sac was the key, it seems. It washed out the residual salts really effectively without waterlogging everything. It stops the salts just settling back down as the water level drops. It's that sustained flushing that led to the really low EC reading they measured, a real breakthrough for them, apparently.
That makes so much sense. It's like a gentle detox, like you said, not just a quick bath.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did that, and then the real insight came from actually measuring it precisely.
Precisely. The source really highlights this. After using the gunny sack method, they measured the EC, and it was remarkably low, 88 microsiemens per centimeter, SCC meter. And just for context, if you think in parts per million, that's around 41 ppm. Basically, just two ways of saying the salt concentration was very, very low, ideal for germination.
Right. Okay, so 88. Why does that specific number or being that low matter so much?
Well, the ideal range generally for seed starting is below 500 SC meters. Anything much higher suggests more salts are dissolved in the water within the cocopeat, and that can cause what's called osmotic stress. It sounds technical, but it basically means water gets pulled out of the seed instead of going in, which obviously stops germination.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or even if it does sprout, that first little root, the radical, it's incredibly delicate. High salt can literally burn it right as it emerges. So measuring the EC directly in the prepared cocoa peat tells you if it's safe. It avoids those critical failures right at the start.
And that feels like the real aha moment here, doesn't it? It connects everything. It's not just about finding a method, but finding an effective one, like the gunny sack trick for that controlled drainage,
Yeah.
and then backing it up, understanding the hidden science, the salt levels, with a precise check. That 88 2-myceme reading from the source, it shows how knowing that number changes everything, takes from guesswork to, well, success.
Exactly. That measurement provides the confirmation, the understanding of why the method works so well.
So wrapping this up, what does this mean for you listening? I mean, if a small measurement, understanding salt in something like cocoa peat, can be such a game changer for tiny seeds, it makes you think, right? What other seemingly small details, things maybe we overlook in our own projects or even daily life, might actually hold the key to, significant success? Maybe taking that deeper look, understanding the what and the why behind things can make all the difference. Something to consider.